tackling copyright in Ghana. We talk about copyright, we talk about what the implications are. But how well versed in the matters are you? Well, to help us put some flesh on the bones is Mr. Samuel Awuku. He's the Principal Research Officer with Copyright Ghana, and he joins me in the studios. Mr. Awuku, good morning to you. Hope you're doing well.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you for having me. I'm doing well. I trust you're doing well also.
Nothing a million, cities wouldn't solve, but otherwise, where there's life, there is hope. And today we're discussing copyright issues. It's something that comes up a lot, intellectual property and the like, and I'm not sure that a lot of us have been able to wrap our minds around the subject matter. So let's just dive straight into it. When we talk about intellectual property, what really are we talking about?
Right, thank you. Good morning to you and to all your cherished listeners who are listening to us this morning. Thanks for asking. And intellectual property is really an important subject. And it's good that you have us here to explain what it is. Intellectual property generally is what protects creations of the human mind. It's a branch of law actually that grants protection to all creations that emanate from our human intellect. And so once somebody creates something from, painfully takes time to create something that it goes on to develop that into a product that can be useful to society. That person is granted some rights that helps him or her to have some control over the work that he has created. It is indeed broad, but it's categorized into two main pillars.
Right.
On one side, we have what you call industrial property, which encompasses several other forms of IPs, such as patents.
Okay.
Patent has to do with, patent is the form of IP right that protects inventions. When somebody invents a new device or has come up with an apparatus that seeks to solve a technical solution in society.
Okay.
That person is granted patent right to what he had invented.
Is this, for example, like I remember during the time of COVID, the issue of Veronica buckets. Is that an example of a patent?
Yes, we can relate that Veronica bucket. But, for patents, for you to acquire patent, you need to meet certain requirements. You have to meet certain requirements. So Veronica bucket, so to speak, it may be granted patent if it meets the criteria for patentability.
Right.
But aside patent that I mentioned, also under industrial property we have trademarks. Trademarks basically a distinguishing mark that one entity uses to distinguish their products from those of other competitors on the market. Then we also have industrial designs, which has to do with the aesthetics, how appealing a product looks. Just by looking at it, you want to choose this product just by its physical appearance. That has to do with what you call industrial design. And we also have geographical indications, even trade secrets and all that. All these are classified under industrial property, which forms one of the pillars under intellectual property. Then the second pillar has to do with copyright and related rights. So copyright basically protects literary and artistic expressions.
Literary and artistic expressions.
Yes. So by that, we mean that expressions like music, films, books, computer software, paintings, work of architecture, sculpture works, and basically anything that is artistic or literary in nature can fall under copyright. And so in Ghana, we have two offices that deal with these forms of intellectual property. We have the Copyright Office dealing with copyright and related rights, and then we have the Ghana Industrial Property Office, which also deals with industrial property.
Okay.
We both happen to fall under the Ministry of Justice,
Okay.
Office of the Attorney General and Ministry of Justice. Yes.
What are the laws then in Ghana that govern intellectual property?
Yes, because they have enumerated a few forms of intellectual property. So each of these has its own laws. Our local laws, we have local laws in Ghana that's govern. But these laws are derived from international conventions, international instruments. And as far as copyright is concerned, the international legal framework constitutes a lot, including what we call the Berne Convention for the Protection of Literary and Artistic Works. We also have the TRIPS Agreement, and we also have the WIPO Internet Treaties, and then several others. But these, like I said, our national laws derive from these international treaties. And so when we come to our local situation, Ghana has the Copyright Act that was promulgated sometime in 2005. So we have Copyright Act of 2005, Act 690. It's also called Act 690. Aside Act 690, we have the Copyright Regulations that was passed in 2010. Then we've had a few other amendments, but in recent times, lately in 2023, the office and together with its stakeholders came up with the Copyright Amendment Regulations of 2023, also called the LI or Legislative Instrument 2469. So in terms of copyright, these are the laws that we have in Ghana that protect copyright. But then the other forms of IP that I mentioned, as in the patents, trademarks, geographical indications, they all have we have local laws that protect them. We have the patent law that was also passed, I think 2003, sorry. Similarly, we have the Trademarks Act, we have the Geographical Indications Act that govern these forms of IPs here in Ghana.
Right.
Yeah.
And with this particular law, let's zoom in on Act 690, Copyright Act 2005. What rights does it grant?
Yes. Copyright, like I said, it protects literary and artistic expressions. First and foremost, the work that you are seeking to claim copyright for should have been expressed in a tangible medium. It should not be an idea, because copyright does not protect ideas. It protects what you say you have expressed. If it's a book, you have actually written down the book and it's been published, or it should meet certain conditions. But as far as the rights are concerned, there are two distinct rights that the creator or the author enjoys under copyright. And the first is what we call economic rights.
Okay.
And when I say economic rights, it's really very broad, as in we normally say that it is a bundle, because it entails several distinct rights that are only reserved for the individual who has actually created the work. And so we will make mention of the right of reproduction, as in what permits you to make identical copies of the book, or to reproduce the work.
Right.
We have what you call right of translation. That is, if an author has written a book or created his work in a particular language, you cannot, the right to translate that work into a different language resides with that individual.
So that's not a loophole. If somebody thinks that, oh, well, this book was written in English,
yes,
I want to reproduce it in Tree, that is no barrier. Whatever language you decide to use, it still doesn't...
Yes, the original creator, the original author of the book can decide that at any time he wants to translate it into a different language. He can do so, but not another person trying to do that. Another person may do so only with the authorization of the copyright holder or the author. We also have what you call right of public performance, right of broadcasting and communicating to the work, communicating the work to the public. right of rental, right of distribution. All these are part of the bundle of rights that fall under economic rights. Then the other form of rights that the author enjoys is what we call the moral rights. Moral rights. And that has, sometimes we refer to it as the right of paternity, because the author should have the right to always assert himself as the one who created this work, and to demand that his name should always be mentioned in connection with the work.
That's very interesting. Yes. So that if I wrote a book and I come to an event and you merely mention the book, you don't mention that I wrote it, you could have a case to answer.
Yeah, that could be a moral right issue.
Okay.
Yes. And especially, you cannot ascribe somebody's work to another person. And that is why the moral rights seek to empower the author to claim authorship to the work. So I heard you play Amanziba's song. That song cannot be said to have been created by another musician.
Right.
It will be wrong and misleading. Aside the right to claim authorship, the author can also prohibit certain acts that are if the work is subjected to certain acts that he or she thinks that it is prejudicial to his or her reputation, he can object to the doing of that. Let's say he composed a song and somebody fuses the song, he fuses certain profane words, excuse my language.
Right.
Certain profane words into the song and is playing that. And the author thinks that doesn't sit well with him or her. He can always object to the person who is trying to subject the work in that manner. He can object to that act. Yes.
So it's quite broad, and there's a lot to also think about if you want to be within the confines of the law. Yeah. And I think that in many instances, a lot of us are unaware of our actions that could contravene this particular act. Now, who are the main stakeholders of copyrights in Ghana?
Yeah, we have our stakeholders are spread across. We have what we call the collective management organizations. There are 3 of that kind in Ghana at the moment. We have, I'm pretty sure you are familiar with the Ghana Music Rights Organization. The CMOs, or collective management organizations, are mandated to manage the rights of right holders on their behalf. So instead of a right holder going to pursue someone for using his or her work to claim royalties, that right, the author can give the right or assign that right to GAMRO or to any of these collective management organizations. That GAMRO will rather be the one to go after the people who use the works especially for commercial purposes. So aside GAMRO, which deals with music right owners, we also have the Audiovisual Rights Society of Ghana, ASOG, which is for the film industry or the audiovisual industry. So film producers, actors and actresses, that's where they belong. And then we also have the third one, which is the Reproduction Rights Organization of Ghana, which is mostly referred to as Copy Ghana.
Okay.
Copy Ghana also deals with literary rights holders. So authors of books, when I say authors, that is the generic word we use for anyone who creates a work. But Copy Ghana deals with authors that specifically write books.
Okay.
So, and then publishers of books. These are the right holders that belong to, that are within the fold of Copy Ghana. But aside these 3 CMOs that I mentioned, our stakeholders are many. We have the Ghana Association of Publishers, Ghana Publishers Association, GPA. We have Musicians Union of Ghana. We have GAPI, that is Ghana Association of Phonographic Industry. We have quite a number of them, aside all that I've mentioned. We also have international partners that have helped shape the copyright landscape in Ghana, and notable amongst them include the World Intellectual Property Organization, which is the mother organization across the world that deals with intellectual property. Aside WIPO, we also have the African Regional Intellectual Property Organization, ARIPO, which deals with IP issues.
Very extensive list.
Yes. And then aside that, we have international organizations like CISAC, IFRO, and a whole lot of others, which have all contributed to, in many ways, they have contributed to the copyright and the IP landscape in Ghana. But
certainly a ways to go. And at least today we're getting some education on who to go to or where to go when these matters arise. But something exciting is upon us. World IP Day. Yes. What is the relevance of its celebration? And in fact, when does it happen?
Yes, the World IP Day is celebrated annually on every 26th of April. 26th of every month of April.
Okay.
Every year. And it's celebrated across the world. Every country, takes or engages in certain activities that promote and to celebrate creators and inventors around the world. And so it is celebrated to encourage others, to kind of give that assurance that the world values what you create from your intellect. And so we appreciate what you are doing as a creator, because you are contributing to the advancement of the world. Whatever you create, society benefits. Much as you are benefiting as the individual creator, it is for society and the rest of the world to also benefit. When this microphone that we speak through, somebody had invented it.
That's right.
And it is of immense benefit to you as a studio.
That's
Similarly,
right.
we can talk of all the other gadgets that we see surrounding us. Somebody had to sit down and design it and to create it, that this is what it should be used for. And it makes life easier for us, or it makes life more comfortable for us.
Certainly more exciting.
Yeah,
the
more
music,
exciting.
the film.
You can imagine an event where there's no music, for instance. The whole place will be boring.
That's right.
But the moment music comes into the scene, everyone is excited. You see excitement on everyone's face. Similarly, people who write books, people who act movies, they enrich our lives in many ways. And so the essence of the IP Day is to celebrate these persons and
Absolutely.
to also encourage others to create more for the benefit of society.
What is the theme for this year, and how is Copyright Ghana celebrating IP Day? So it's falling on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Will the activities happen tomorrow, or is there something happening today?
Yes, this year's theme is this year's celebration is focused on music, and so the theme is IP and music. Feel the beat of IP.
IP and music. Feel the beat of IP.
That's what you see on the WIPO's website. And we, as an office, we are going to hold a short ceremony in commemoration of the day. We'll just hold a short program to have a few performances here and there, just to mark the World IP Day. Similar events will be happening elsewhere across the world. And so we seek to invite music or IP practitioners, IP rights holders to come join us celebrate the World IP Day. We are actually doing it on our premises near the Teachers Hall complex at Adabraka Workers College.
What time does it kick off?
We're starting at 9 a.m.
9 a.m.
Yeah.
prompt. Will we be feeling the beats?
Sure. We hope that
it's going to be a party.
Yes. The theme is on music.
That's right.
It's going to be full of musical performances.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, we look forward to that, and let me wish you a happy World IP Day, the focus, of course, on music. And Mr. Awuku is inviting all of us to come and celebrate the amazing work of those who put their hearts, their soul, their time and energy into their craft. And Mr. Samuel Awuku is the Principal Research Officer, Copyright Ghana. Final words in just 30 seconds, and we can end this interview.
Right. Thank you for having us from the Copyright Office. We are grateful. We appreciate the work that everyone does to contribute to the well-being of humanity. And we as an office, we always want to assure the public that we are there to seek the best interest of right holders, and to also encourage people to learn to respect, and value intellectual property in general and copyright. Because it is when we value and respect the rights of these individuals that motivate them to want to create more for our common use.
Absolutely, and I'm sure in due course we'll be able to talk more about some of these issues, because we have some issues that certainly need tackling. But do have a wonderful weekend.
We'll be glad to always appear.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Awuku. Time check, it is 36 minutes past the hour of 8. You're still live here on 3FM Sunrise on 3FM 92.7, and there's more to come.
3FM Sunrise.